Hello everybody, and welcome back to another stream this week. Hold on. It was super loud just like 2 seconds ago, and now the mic is very quiet. Okay. Had to make sure it was on the right tab, so let's swap that over real fast. And everything should be all set to go. So, once again, welcome to another meeting at the Gaming Roundtable this week. Hope everyone has been having an awesome weekend, depending on, I guess, where you're coming from. It's good to be back again for another Sunday on Genshin Impact. Like I said, like it kind of says in the title, I'm hoping today we might be able to get through everything today. Hold on, 2 seconds. Alright, sorry. The screen wasn't setting up right. But, yeah, like I said, I'm hoping we're going to be able to get through all the Archon Quests today. There is a new event, or I guess... Okay, I will admit that's kind of cool. New area, Archelino, or Arlecchino? I believe I'm saying that right. We'll get to this test run in a few seconds, but yeah, you can kind of see there was a, it's a new update, but there's like, not really, it's not like the Archon Quest kind of update, it doesn't look like.
Everything's ready. Hello, nice.
There could be, I'm not too sure though. I honestly don't know what this new update entails. I haven't been able to watch the live streams lately, so I don't know really what this new update's gonna bring. I just know that we have new character and this new event, which, you know, now that I say new, I'm looking at this and I do remember this being an event a while ago. So this might be another rerun of an event, but it is technically a new event, so that's fine. We'll do the test run and then go immediately to the Archon Quests. Hopefully finishing the Archon missions today would be super, super amazing. If not, then definitely either next time or whatever the next time we start working on the Archon missions are. Fremene's elemental skill will generate a pairs timer, indicate the current pressure level, and it infuses normal attacks with cryo. Unleashing its elemental skill once again while pairs timer is active. Fremene will perform different sorts of attacks based on the pressure level of pairs timer. Fremene's elemental burst can reset the cooldown of his elemental skill. While his elemental burst is active, the CD of his elemental skill, or the cooldown, will be decreased. Additional elemental orbs. Yeah. So it's like based off a timer system essentially, which it's very strange, honestly. I've used Fremene before, and it's just like, so you hit this, and as you can see, the timer kind of ticks up as you're hitting, and then it'll like do a charge attack at the end like that. But if you activate the timer and then activate it before the timer's full, you do a separate attack. Like I said, it's a really weird system. It's cool, it's just strange. So we'll do this again. I say activating at the end looks like it does the exact same thing as just letting it run out. So let's activate the burst here. And oh, it actually looks like it charges faster too, so that's cool. Instead of doing 1 bar per tick, it's doing 2 bars. Let's do it on 1. So like, let's hit 1 time and then see what happens. Honestly, it doesn't. I don't really notice a difference, truthfully. I don't know, it just feels more right to kind of hit near the end like this. But then again, it looks like it's only doing physical, so I don't know. Like I said, interesting mechanic. It's interesting playstyle, but this is one of those. It's definitely not for me. Lenny's, I've played Lenny before too. Lenny's not terrible. I guess I don't really like bow characters. I mean, I say that and I use like Ganyu, but even then Ganyu is just like my support character. Not in this profile, obviously, my other profile, but... Lenny performs an aim shot, fire off prop arrow at charge level 2, consume HP to obtain prop surplus stacks. When a prop arrow hits, summon Grin Malkin Hat that can taunt nearby enemies and deal damage when it leaves the field. Lady's elemental skill consumes prop surplus stacks to deal AoE pyro damage according to the number of stacks cleared and regenerates Lenny's HP. If a Grin Malkin Hat is on the field when his elemental skill is cast, the Grin Malkin Hat will explode. After casting his elemental burst, Lenny will turn into Grin Malkin Cat and move around the battlefield, dealing damage to opponents nearby. Duration ends, Lenny will summon a Grand Malkine hat. I said Grand Malkine hat probably like 5 times for that. Which is insane. So here's the 2 charge right here. Which summons the hat right there. And then I believe if you click this...
Step right up.
Yeah, it'll blow it up. And it does taunt, so that kind of helps out too. I don't know, will it explode on its own? It does, okay. I'm trying to get this shield broken. Though it does kind of do like the explosion effect when... Yeah, like when you kind of hold it, it looks like it also does the explosion effect. And it just spawns another one in on top of it so you don't know.
Here comes the finale.
Here's the hat. Explosion. Ton of damage and... Like I said, it's a pretty good kit if you know what you're doing. It's just... I don't really ever know what I'm doing, so... Explosion to this. And boom. Like I said, good numbers, not terrible, just not for me. Alright, Arlecchino's elemental skill deals better damage to nearby opponents and applies Blood Debt directives to them for a period of time. After using your charge attacks or elemental burst, absorb nearby Blood Debt directives, gaining a Bond of Life. Arlecchino enters the Masque of the Red Death? I don't know how to say that. State when the value of her Bond of Life exceeds a certain percentage of her max HP, causing her normal attacks to be converted to deal fire arrow damage, and consume part of the value of her current Bond of Life to deal increased damage based on her Bond of Life and attack. Elemental Burst deals AoE power damage, removing the remaining cooldown on her elemental skill and restoring her HP. Okay, and for those who don't know, Bond of Life is essentially like... So here, I'll throw it on, and then... I think it should take a bit, but we should be able to get it back. Yeah, okay. So we just got all that back. And as you can kind of see on the bottom, our health bar has like a red ring around it. That red ring essentially means that like you still get healing. I'm trying to think of how to describe this. That's why I'm kind of stuttering a bit. You essentially get this red ring, and that means that like for as long as this red ring is there, you don't exactly heal yourself. You get healing, but it essentially just ticks down the red bar. So I mean, it's very interesting, honestly. It's a very interesting concept. I couldn't figure it out until later, but you know, now we can start attacking it. Kind of see that it does very high amounts of damage as long as you have that blood debt on there. Like a lot of damage. And then I saw something that if you wait and see now they're lit up and then do a charge attack, you get a lot more blood debt. And right now we have like a ton of damage.
Everlasting as the moon. Laid bare.
I will say, Arlecchino is definitely one that I really like their kit. I just think it's such a unique... Because like we haven't really ever used the idea of the Bond of Life to actually be used in combat. I think it's been used in like for like enemies and stuff, but never for an actual character to use it to like power themselves up. So yeah, that's Arlecchino. It would be cool if we could get them. It'd be nice to get her, but I mean, I'm never ever gonna hope for anything because I don't trust this. My luck is atrocious. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's letting me claim all these rewards from chapters we haven't even been on to, but okay. Whatever. I ain't gonna complain about free rewards. Let's claim that. Alright. I did notice that there's this Archon Quest interlude chapter, and I think that if we get done with this, it'll basically get us like over 20 rewards or something, because we haven't... Because this is essentially... Yeah, this is from Leeway. So we basically have until like Leeway up until Fontaine to claim. So that'll be fun to try to claim later and get a bunch of stuff like that. Oh gosh, last time. Where were we at last time? I know at the very least we were trying to get... Right, I think we had just come out of the, we just came out of the tomb, or not the tomb, the crypt, or whatever it was. I don't know exactly how to describe it. The underground ruins, there you go. We came into the underground ruins, saw a mural depicting the disaster or whatever, where essentially Fontaine gets flooded with primordial seawater and everyone essentially disappears.
This place looks
Oh, hold on.
deserted.
We'll let Paimon
Guess
finish
all the
talking.
survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Yeah, we saw the prophecy or whatever, and now we're trying to force Farina to finally start talking because she's essentially been quiet on the whole thing and trying not to say anything, which is annoying.
With the wind.
Because she has a lot of information that we need to know about. Oh, and Hu Tao might be dead by the time we get him out because of that fall, but we'll see.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
I mean, I don't know why we need to stay quiet. We need to ask her questions. Why are we being quiet?
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Oh, she just let something slip.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
We like appeared behind her. Jeez. Yeah, don't worry about it.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Yeah,
Farina,
you can't just hide
you
that.
were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
Yeah, nice try though.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Farina, we heard you
Who
too.
did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marish Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
Yeah, oh gosh. It's hard to even say it out loud. Stop trying to act tough, Farina. You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you? I feel like that's gonna like twist a knife so deep. That is tough.
Of course not.
Liar.
There she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Oh no.
Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
Yeah, I would run.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Yeah, okay.
Farina just ran off.
Dang, she's gone.
Quick, we have to catch up with her.
You know, with how long we stood there talking, I feel like they definitely would have caught up to us by now. They're slow. Like, super slow. Jeez Louise. Oh, we're for sure over here. Oh, I knew it. I'm just so good. I knew we were behind those boxes.
I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Well, this is the first playing hide and go seek with Archon's people. Huh. Well, add that to the list of things I'm good at. Playing Archon hide and seek. That's a small hut. Jeez.
Everyone's exhausted.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me.
Caught you?
No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place isn't what I'd call soundproof. You might want to lower your voice. Ooh, that's tough.
You're right. Yep, that's a good girl.
That's a good girl. Jeez Louise.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
Another disaster just struck, I suspect. Oh, jeez. You're really just looking to hurt Farina, honestly.
A quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
Like, I don't even know if that was intentional, but that just
It can't
hurts.
be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Maybe you should start
The people
talking?
of Poisson, they've already...
Maybe we should start talking? Has Farina finally reached her limits? Now she's talking about her actual feelings. She's starting to look far less stiff. But it'd be nice. Begin to talk amongst yourselves as Farina slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years.
Oh,
I
well.
once had informants all over Teyvat.
Way to just drop it
searching
on
for
us.
clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time.
She just
We
doesn't want
cannot
to
make
see
an
it.
enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
Okay, hold on 2 seconds. I gotta move the chair. We gotta get locked in for this. Okay. There you go. I know it was like 2 seconds, but the chair was in fact moved. But even then, you still haven't given up, right? Which, I will make a note. They did bring up the idea of the heavenly principles again, which I definitely called the fact that I'm sure Fontaine messed with the heavenly principles, and that's why they're being punished. Just saying I brought that up. Granted, I mean, I'm sure everybody else, it's been a long time. I'm sure everybody else has brought up the idea, but still, I was just proud of myself for saying it first. Or not like first, but like first to myself without knowing anything. But even then, you still haven't given up.
I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that would also mean that all hope would disappear. Yeah, and all of Fontaine, but that's besides the point.
Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late.
Wow.
Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end.
Go for Rena, honestly.
Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
You know you're allowed to cry,
Don't
right?
take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
You're allowed to cry, Farina. It's okay.
Come on! I could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Yeah, finally, you might have to shoulder this burden alone. Please. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden.
Yes, Farina.
That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here.
Yeah, look at that.
And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
So I'm allowed to listen to things from a third point of
If
view.
that's the case.
There's no time left. Please, Farina, just spit it out. Fair enough. Oh, we go into one of those little interesting cutscenes. Ooh. We're like, please, please, just say it. Oh no. Wait, what? What the heck?
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes.
What?
Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial?
Uh-oh.
In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Oh my gosh.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Oh wow.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
Well, I'm not really surprised.
What's going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Oh
Lady
geez.
Farina, what is the meaning of this?
This ain't gonna end well.
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself.
Okay, well that's starting to
But now,
That's starting to
it's
dig a little
time
knife,
we have
jeez,
your Archon to show you her courage and resolve.
I kinda feel bad for Farina now.
We'll use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, I will protect you.
Protect?
Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Woohoo!
The one dude. Let's go!
Now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also,
Just
even though
slightly.
she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
One would
Alright,
hope.
Then.
One would hope.
Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
I'm sorry, I was not expecting that. What? Thank you,
Is
Your Honor.
That so. Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
Oh boy. We were so close to getting her to tell us the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. It's okay though, as long as we can defeat Farina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure everything out. Oh boy. Oh geez.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins.
Oh no. Oh wait, what the heck? Why did it...
Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
I don't want to talk about it.
We did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of impressed we got the whole house to move.
The Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed
Ew.
into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you.
Yeah, that
People's
honestly
resentment
doesn't
against the
surprise me.
Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
You know, what's even funnier is during that whole time we were sitting in that box, I was very clearly sitting there going, this is not a house. Like, this feels like a gigantic box, and here we are literally talking about it being a magical box. Like, maybe I should just start realizing some of the smaller details are actually important. That'd be nice.
That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human.
How is that even possible,
My thanks,
though?
Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
She's so confused, like, wait, what?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support.
There we
The
go.
House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
I'm sorry, I could have understood you just picking up the whole box and carrying it. You're telling me that they dug a whole tunnel in a matter of like a week, or like maybe in less than a month, maybe. But even then, you were digging underwater. That is insane. Genuinely, that is insane. I don't know how you do that.
So, in other words, the
That is
earthquake
impressive.
that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that, we deceived you. We've been deceiving you the whole time, unfortunately, but...
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
It was kind of impressive.
Thank you.
As for you,
Takes the compliment. That is
I
insane.
suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
Yeah, I don't think she was actually... I don't think she was trying to distract her. I think she was being serious and trying to help her.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. Oh. Oh, that's even worse. We hope that you share your secret with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done.
I think she feels utterly
The stage
betrayed.
is already set,
Which stinks.
So there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Yeah, the only thing we can do right now is judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but be a little bothered by the conversation earlier. What did Farina want to say to me right before we arrived onto the stage?
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
What?
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte!
I'm sorry. If I'm ever in a court case and the prosecutor just looks at me and goes, "Hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you." I think I might leave. That is... Like, geez Louise, what is that?
Oh, let Paimon see.
Obviously, it's not a normal court case.
Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine.
Oh, that actually kind of helps.
So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument.
You know what's funnier? They totally did this so that for the people who take a very long time to complete the Archon Quests, we can just look back at this and be like, oh look, this is exactly what happened.
Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
I told you, that is so funny.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
Became Linny's attorney. A murder case unfolded in the midst of Linny and Lynette's first performance at the Grand Opera House. Though they were cleared of the accusations leveled against them, their identities as agents of the House of the Hearth were revealed.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence.
The truth behind the serial disappearances of young women case. It turns out the Fontanians can be dissolved by water from the primordial sea. Over the years, Vacher kidnapped and dissolved many young girls for his experiments to try and find a way to bring back his wife who has been dissolved.
This is the first time Monsieur Neuvillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out.
Child's conviction. Though Neuvillette believed Child to be innocent, the Oratrice judged him as guilty in the end, and even Farina didn't know why.
A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something.
During the diplomatic meeting with the Knave, she revealed that she had already probed Farina on her own, and believes it is possible that not only is Farina not really the Archon, but that she is actually afflicted with some sort of curse.
The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think.
I thought we weren't supposed to share this information. Well, that's fine. I guess Charlotte now knows. Sure. The intrusion of the Primordial Sea into the Fortress of Meripede. The entrance of the Primordial Sea is sealed beneath the Forbidden Zone in the Fortress of Meripede, and recently the Primordial Sea has nearly broken out. It is only temporarily pushed back by Nouvelette's power.
According to Monsieur Neuvillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the Primordial Sea at that time.
The Whale in the Dream. You saw Child floating in the sea in a dream, as well as an indescribably massive whale.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Navia falling into the seawater. While exploring the ruin near Passant, it began to collapse and Navia fell into the water containing Primordial Sea. Seawater, sorry. Only the protection of the dead members of the Spina de Versula prevented her from dissolving.
The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Tea time with N. N communicated with you by connecting your consciousness. She believes the prophecy will certainly happen, but that you needn't give up all hope. Okay, I just wanted to look at Charlotte's face. I thought it... Because when I did notice that she was frowning the whole time, it was right here, so I assumed she actually started frowning when she heard about Navia, but I think that would have been really cool. She was really excited for most of it, and then frowned when she heard that.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Come on, Neuvillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true. But my charge
Oh?
here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon.
Hold on.
Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
The Traveler talks and everything goes silent.
I came here thinking
Jeez.
I was going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted.
Oh. Oh no.
Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge?
This is about to get deep fast.
Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Faucilor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine,
Farina de Fontaine.
other than your true Archon.
What is that name, Farina de Fontaine?
Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
Every time they defend her, they dig at her first. That's pretty mean.
Common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
She's obviously on the ropes.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
The people only see you as their Archon because that's their long-held belief.
Well, I tried.
This is true.
The chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am?
I mean, I gotta ask this too.
If I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
I've got to think carefully. What do we know to be special about Farina exactly? Oh boy. Well, it's not child's conviction. That doesn't make sense. Maybe. Actually, hold on. Arlecchino's talk about curse actually makes sense here. Because maybe she's cursed with long life. So maybe she's not the Archon, but because of something either her or the original Archon did, she's actually cursed to live forever. I would assume so, maybe. That's all I could think of.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
It doesn't matter who gave us the information. What matters is the veracity of the claim. Which I don't think she realizes is completely factual. Doesn't matter who gave us the information. If it's right, it's right.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Neuvillette sensed it too, huh?
I said even Neuvillette's turning against her. So Farina, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart.
This is
just by
actually very
looking at
true.
them. It's not impossible.
Look at Venti, Zhongli, A and Inazuma, oh gosh.
Don't start celebrating
Navia.
too early now.
Not Navia,
Even
Nahida.
if I have been carrying a curse,
I mean,
like you
geez.
said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods.
Okay, then show us your powers.
For centuries, manifestations of my
I mean,
authority
really,
have
that's that
served
easy.
the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the indemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Yeah, but are you controlling it? Wait, that one child proved the opposite. Farina actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. That's honestly what I was exactly thinking right there. Because she was surprised that the Oratrice did what it did, so that means she doesn't even know how it works.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
This is true.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need to provide an explanation.
Yeah, that doesn't fly in the court of law.
I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order.
Yep,
While
I was
the
waiting
court
for
is
that one.
insane, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial.
So you have to explain
You will
yourself.
prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
He wants to know the
That was
truth.
no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
Yeah, she's hose.
You neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice.
Which is fishy.
Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
Oh, we just said you weren't the god behind
She's
it.
still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
Yeah, her argument there made zero sense. Because we just said that she wasn't the one that made it. Another god did, and then said, well, just because you said that I'm not a god doesn't mean... You know, like, the fallacies that are coming up are super bad right now, but it's okay. Sure, we can put the Org Trace aside for now, but then, Miss Farina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your powers in Archon? Thank you. Been saying that for a while now.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
Oh.
You don't need to go that far.
Oh, Farina's so not gonna win this. A brief demonstration of your powers over Hydra should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium! Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Okay, Farina, you're really losing me right now.
A huge stretch.
Thank you.
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Yeah, see, even the audience members are like, listen.
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Finally.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you loved.
She's trying.
Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
She's trying so hard, it makes me...
You've got to believe me.
Okay, now I almost feel bad.
What the prosecutor said is true. She really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is?
I'm probably
if
dead.
You have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
Well, she's never gonna give up. If we can't prove that she isn't the Archon, we can try to prove that she's just a human. And if she's only human... Gonna load... There we go. Okay, so the fact that she's human, that's becoming Lenny's attorney is not going to be the evidence I'm banking on here. The truth behind the serial disappearance cases. So many girls try to find a way to bring his wife has been dissolved. I wouldn't assume that that's it. Unless we're making the deep stretch that Farina was his wife, which... That just doesn't make sense to me. If that's right, then I don't know. I don't know if I want to believe that one. The intrusion of the primordial seawater and the fortune of Meripede. Once again, I don't think that's really proving that it was Farina. Navi slowing in the sea. What is this? I don't really know. There's 4 options here, and I don't like any of them. Okay, the seawater I don't think has to deal with her at all. Protection of the dead member's divinity protected her from dissolving. That doesn't prove that she's human. It has like nothing to do with her. Really, none of these have anything to do with her, but that's perfectly fine. Primordial seawater is being released. That doesn't prove she's human. That could just be her if she was doing something else at the time. Agents Hearth. I'm gonna take a guess as the serial disappearances of young women. I honestly don't see anything else. I don't know. I really don't. This better not be right. My theory better not be right.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Oh.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn.
I don't believe that one, but it's okay.
I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect.
Oh my
on you.
gosh.
All it should do is strengthen your case.
Oh my goodness.
If you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestions.
Ooh. That...
If Lady Farina is indeed just
That
a
is
human,
tough.
she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
The issue is, though, is... I do remember it says she'll be all on her own, being able to... I think it's actually going to work. I think she's going to be able to put her hand
Lady
in.
Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it.
But once again...
That could only mean...
I swear to you that she's safe from it. Because even within the prophecy, it says that she'll stay within the throne crying by herself, meaning that she could survive the water. At least that's what I would assume.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... That's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Yep, I figured as much.
Hey!
She actually... Yeah, I figured she would.
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Wait, Siegewing is here? Oh no.
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewing.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
That's tough.
What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved! Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
So they put just enough in there for her to think there was, but it wasn't enough to dissolve her, it was just enough to get her sick. That is so... oh my gosh. That is so, like, underhanded and dirty, but at the same time I respect it.
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, After extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
For Farina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness.
Wow.
It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have.
Oh.
I can't believe you.
They played her hard. But what's really going on here? Farina can't have not known the consequences of touching that water as a human. This is... Hold on. I'm going to pause this before it tries to skip me. It's too unlike how she usually acts. Unless it's actually more important for her to keep with the facade than to save her own life. But she has... but hadn't she given up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing. Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater? Also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
She's so backed into a corner. Unfortunately, there's nothing she can do, it looks like.
Everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
Oh no.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
I almost feel bad at like how hard she's...
There's any way left for Farina to win.
Everyone's just kind of turned on
The
her.
time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Uh-oh.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
That's not good.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is...
I say everyone's turned on her.
Guilty.
Oh, wow. Wait.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal to render the final verdict on the charges.
Was that... That they made a very big point of her sitting down and crying? It's almost like... It's almost like what N said when it's like, fate is gonna happen no matter what, but... It almost seems like this fate, quote-unquote, happened here. I don't know. It just makes me feel like that you don't actually have to destroy all of Fontaine for the prophecy to come true. Because like it just showed, she sat down on her throne is now crying alone. I honestly think that's it. I honestly think we stopped fate from destroying all of Fontaine because we made it happen a different way.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal...
Let me guess, innocent?
Farina is...
Yep.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
It did what it did with Child.
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Oh.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
What?
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
Are you kidding?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
How's...
Marina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences,
something needs to be
is this
changed.
sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Mache wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Yeah, no, I think that's why the Traveler's been acting serious this whole time. What's more strange is instead of Farina, the Oratrice rendered judgment on the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place.
So she's not sentenced to death.
The Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Something's not right.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt.
Oh, please don't tell me something happened.
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Huh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
What happened? With some help from the other Fatui, Fremine begins the stone slate on the...
That the first prophecy slate?
What is that?
Huh. So the Nymph privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
What is that
Looked
slate?
everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water.
What?
But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Now, don't worry, Fremine. We still love you. It's okay. Don't worry, the mystery hasn't been resolved yet. It's not too late for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
It almost looks like the goddess is like bestowing powers amongst the humans. I don't know what it is though. The previous Hydro Archon releasing her divine power, transforming the Oceanids into human beings. I'm sorry. The Hydro Archon turned Oceanids into human beings? Is that why the primordial seawater reverts them back to their primordial state? I.e. Oceanids?
I believe I've now made sense of
Oh
the
my
Hydro Archon's
gosh.
crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
And that's why all Fontanians are the only ones to be affected by the water.
Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
Oh my
In
gosh.
truth,
What?
everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slate and the events in real life.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Select to check the descriptions of the stone slates to extract key information from them. You can find scenarios related to the stone slate's content in the incidents recorded in the interview book, notebook. There you can verify said content. As the verification process continues, the fountain water level in the menu interface will rise. When you have finished verifying all the stone slates, the truth behind the prophecy should be revealed. Real events related to the prophecies on the prophecy slates.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydra Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
I think it's like I've been saying. I think she created almost like the ultimate sin of creating humans from monsters, and Celestia got mad and struck them down.
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
But wait, why would Navia be counted? What?
Well, the first slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Oh boy. The Prophecy Slate 1. Slates in the ruin, showing the prophecy describe a history of the future. The first piece that was originally missing has been found by Fremine. It seems to show the former Hydro Archon using divine power to turn Oceanids into people. Turning Oceanids into people. I'm trying to think. Would it be dissolved by water, maybe? Because I think this one referenced something about being brought back as well. So I think it's maybe this one, the Vache.
We know
I
from
was
the
right.
case of
Okay.
the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
It's because they're reverting back to their original form. The fact that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater, becoming Oceanids, is proof of their origin. The stone slate in the ruin showing the prophecy describing a history of the future, second slate. It shows Celestia floating in the sky and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. Maybe this is what's talking about. The Hydro Archon guilty to be punishable via the death sentence? Because it does talk about punishment, so I would take a guess that it's the same? Okay.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervilet mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
A sentence never passed in the court of judgment has been handed down to the Hydro Archon. Just what kind of sin merits such a verdict? I.e. the sin of creating humans from monsters. History of the future. Okay. It shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea, surrounded by many people. And this would have to do with Navia, because Navia fell into the primordial seawater.
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
When exploring the ruins, Navia fell into the water containing primordial seawater. Alright, and then this is the final slate. It shows a scene that is basically identical to that described in the prophecy circulating throughout Fontaine. Fontanians will eventually be dissolved into the sea, and the Hydro Archon will sit alone on her throne and weep. And this one, if I'm right, judge him guilty, it's not child's conviction. Held back. I believe, like I said, I believe it's like End saying that essentially the prophecy will certainly happen, but just, not giving up all hope. Meaning that it's not going to happen the way we think it's going to happen. No? Okay.
Let's think about this some more.
Then I don't know. That's weird. Sit along her throne and weep. I don't know, maybe we have to bring up N at some point. I mean, geez. Judge him guilty and even Farina didn't know why? Broken is temporarily pushed back by Niblet's power. I don't know what this would be. Enters the primordial sea, maybe? I don't know. Cool.
Prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontanians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
And that's the fountain full.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an oceanid.
Oh, I have to click this time. Okay, let me do that. Sorry.
The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin.
I mean, possibility.
Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay.
Okay.
The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what.
Alright. I'm just trying to see...
The stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
I want to see how this connects. Like, there's a few like lingering things that just kind of don't make sense right now. I hope they start explaining. Like, it would be super cool.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now. So that's how you can make sense of it.
We're just that good. It's okay.
But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
The first slate reveals that Fontanians are not real humans. What a great wake-up call. Don't smile. Don't smile, Lumine. That's not... You don't smile to that. Yeah, hey, by the way, fun little fact for you guys. You're not human.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
That's
All
interesting.
Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids.
They are really pulling out old facts. That is impressive.
About to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
The second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of Fontanians or Motianids. Which, yeah, like I said.
Of the first slate, that she probably anchored Celestia by creating humans without prior permission.
Yeah, because that's, did not sound very good.
Oratories judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
Which seems really messed
Yes,
up,
after many
honestly.
hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
As for the third slate, I'm still convinced that it should come after the fourth.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
The fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy as it's already widely known.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
I mean, yeah, it's
You've
very
made some
impressive.
keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
He says it
However,
like he knows.
You were able to decode all the information on the slates. They've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source.
Wait, really?
When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Oh boy. Time to see what happens.
Well? Did you get it?
Well, calm down,
I believe I
Paimon.
should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you.
Interestingly enough, though,
Your
Farina hasn't said
hypotheses regarding
anything.
The origin of Fontanians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine
Surprising.
Hold, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life.
So...
Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
Oh my goodness, that is...
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That has to be a wonderful
That's way
wake-up
too
call.
much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing.
Good idea.
Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontanian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
I figured as much. I don't know why they kept saying it needed to be reversed. It just felt weird. So they are in the right order. What is the 3rd plate supposed to represent then?
The key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea.
Wait, what?
The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate.
Oh.
Therefore, the meaning of the 3rd slate is...
It means today.
The people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice.
So everything has come full. I was wondering how N had to do with anything. That makes sense. So this whole time, people have been reading it wrong. Not everybody's going to get dissolved. But they're going to essentially gang up on Farina, leaving her alone and crying on her throne.
Yes. It refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
See, they say that, but the only thing that really comes of the prophecy, I believe, should just be the Farina's death. Which, I mean, it feels weird, but...
The prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Guys, you've already done it.
I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
No, I say I'm confused. Where are we at? The ultimate proof. Just what is the source of the disaster?
It's just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
What is the root cause then? Nothing makes sense. The intrusion of the primordial sea into the fortress of Meripede. The secret the fortress of Meripede has been protecting is the entrance to the primordial sea. Though Neuvillette has sealed it once more, just how long will it last? The prophesied disaster will likely spread from here. Verify the truth. The evidence that verifies the intrusion of the primordial sea in the fortress of Meripede is Lindy's attorney's child's convictions, the meeting with the knave, the whale in the dream, tea time with N. That verifies the intrusion of the primordial sea into the fortress of Meripede. What proves it? I don't know. Would it be the whale? That's like the only thing I'm thinking of right now. It is.
It was both dream and reality.
Oh.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
Oh no. Don't tell me.
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
Oh no. What was that? The animation looked different. It like turned purple. What was that? Oh no. Don't tell me it's gonna happen again. Oh no. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. It broke through his power? Has Child been fighting it this whole time? What is going on? He needs to stop. If he keeps going, he's going to overload himself. Oh no. His delusion is probably going to kill him soon. He needs to stop using it.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
That's right, I'd wager that it's also the one that Child saw when he was young.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tivat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while.
Wait, are you kidding?
It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
So it's like,
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Oh no.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist.
So that's why it's trying to consume all of Fontaine.
Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again, once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
I think we have to go in. Child's not going to be able to make on his own.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late.
Yeah, it's never too late.
It had
Watch
already
us.
absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself.
Practically
Even
is
if the
not in
entirety of
fully,
Tibet were to
so
be
I
destroyed,
mean,
it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
well, first of all, life
Indeed,
isn't fair, but
That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
oh,
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
I'm surprised we haven't jumped in yet. I was waiting for us to like immediately dive into it.
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
After everything, it still turned out like this. We couldn't fight against fate. Wait, but if this is all about fate,
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
so does that mean within the primordial sea the gods can't see anything?
Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tivat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
Could it be that even if the prophecy will be fulfilled, there will still be a way to save everyone? I'm surprised we haven't jumped in. I'm serious. Did I miss something? Are we going to go back to the judgment thing again? Wait, I forgot about Farina. What was it that she wanted to say to me at the... oh my gosh. 2 seconds. What was it that she wanted to say to me at that last moment inside the great box? What is her real secret? Wait, what? It's giving a verdict.
What's happening with the orchard?
At least that's what it seems like. What's going on?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Wait, it's trying to carry it out.
No, I still need answers.
Oh no. What in the... Where did we just... I'm sorry, what is going on? Is that the first Hydro Archon? Or at least the original Hydro Archon?
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Wait.
Focalor.
How is she still alive?
Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Wait.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
So you're telling me Celestia thinks she's dead?
Pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria, for the uninitiated.
Oh.
It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum.
So she just made everyone think she was gone.
The heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time.
Are you kidding me?
I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up.
Well, yeah, I would say that for certain.
One can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
And then chosen to be an
Yes,
Archon.
I was.
Wow.
I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being.
Wait.
The me
So Farina's
that I see
actually
before
human?
you now is that divinity.
I'm...
And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina.
Then why is she affected by
She
this
could
primordial
feel joy,
seawater?
sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles.
Okay. I'm not beyond the fact that she keeps calling Farina human. I don't think Farina's actually human. I think she just acts human and is still an Oceanid. We're gonna ignore that fact. You can't just drop that little bit and be like, she was perfect in every way, and I absolutely loved creating her. And then I cursed her. That's just messed up, man. Vocalor is mean. Oh my... Okay, we'll continue. It's fine. You know,
Do you still
besides the
remember
fact
the
that...
final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead,
what the heck?
She was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass.
What? That is so messed up. She made, like, her quote-unquote perfect human so she could be human through Farina, and then basically said Farina wasn't allowed to live. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen. I've been saying that Farina's been a bit too conceited, and I will admit she's 100% been 100% conceited. But, like, not even she deserved this. This is messed up.
I suppose
on so many
now
levels.
You probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
Because it means you're a jerk.
Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being.
That's saying we turned on her and made her feel all alone.
I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it.
Oh, you owe her an apology? Just a slight apology for cursing her to a life of forever loneliness and to eventually die all by herself? Yeah, wow. Really? I wonder why you owe her an apology. Super weird.
It's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
We better save Farina. I'm gonna be mad. I came into contact with Farina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain a being's strongest emotions. With sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with that Oceanid at the Fountain of Lucine. Wait, could this be Farina's inner world? Farina, what is she doing on stage? Wait a moment, that probably isn't Farina. That's likely a reflection of her inner self. If I can directly speak to that self, I might be able to easily get what I wanted to know. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let me try to talking to her. Oh, come on, you don't do the trial character thing where you put the traveler as the first person? This is insane. Like, this is taking so many twists so fast.
wanted you to come onto the stage. Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Yeah, why is she acting like she doesn't know me?
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand
Don't look at me,
you.
don't look at me.
There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance.
I honestly thought, like, I was super scared that, like, something got, like, the Wi-Fi was cut off or something, but what was that? You're not distracting me from my performance, but I don't see an audience here.
Oh, do not
Just let the
jest.
stage lights go off,
Cannot
please,
hear
if
it.
only for 1 second.
I am Focalor.
That
the
way,
eyes of countless Fontanians
I can become
are
myself
upon me.
again.
I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
We need to shut off the lights, don't we? Something's off. There's no getting through to her. Even in her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydro Archon. What sort of resolve must she have that even her inner self and subconscious would have such an impenetrable defense? I have to find a way. It's definitely shutting off the lights. It's almost like a literal, or a metaphorical end.
Dear audience, the
Oh, no.
performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Okay, was not expecting a fight, but alright.
No, my sword!
Yeah, it's like almost a metaphorical and a literal sense of, like, having her not have to be around people anymore and allow her to be herself. Because like she said, she was willing to talk with us once she realized the fact that we're technically not from this world. So we're more of a spectator than someone who she needs to hide the truth from. Which I think is a very interesting thing for her to realize, but
Absorption test.
I also think it's because she's
Rain
lonely.
outlines your fate.
She's probably had so many years of having to keep up the act by herself that having at least one person know the truth for her is like beyond she can, like something beyond she can even understand.
Body and mind.
I will say though, ignoring the fact that I'm getting my butt absolutely kicked by them and still haven't crafted any sort of regenerative food, I will say though, this has definitely been a very, like a lot adding to the story. It's just insane how much they've added into this little tiny section. Oh, okay, there we go. We'll decrease that a bit. Yeah, well, I need to get a new team, honestly, because this team isn't doing so well. I think it's also because Toma doesn't have very good shield, and I'm not very good at playing teams when it comes to relying on shields. I tend to get hit a lot, so just having raw support instead of just shield helps. Because like we can do damage with Hu Tao, don't get me wrong, but she just goes down too fast. Oh, and the stage actually is cut off. We can't go down anymore.
Rain outlines your fate.
Alright, come on. Wait, can I just close them as we're going? Nope, can't be. Burn it. Because I'm sure I'm going to have to battle like 3 more enemies. Alright. Let me guess, another guard.
Hey, what gives? The audience
Surprise,
is still
surprise.
watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
I will say the naming is very interesting. How it's a silence without end, but then also called chains. Like they're very intentional with being the naming sense here. Which is honestly, it's really good. I really appreciate them for that, like, very small attention to detail. But it also, it's at the same time very sad, because you understand that Farina has definitely just, she's been repressing herself for so long. Just go down already, please. I want to continue this story. And one more. Oh, no enemy. Cool. That's all the spotlights turned off. In Farina's hearts, they must have symbolized the eyes of the people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just received some sort of signal. Was that her true voice? The ticket. When did that end up here? That's interesting. Oh. Either way, looks like the show is about to begin. In that case, show me how you truly feel, Farina. Scene 1. Before a mirror, Farina. No? We actually play as Farina. Or what I'm assuming we believe is Farina.
Farina. Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Yep.
I am before you.
Wait a moment.
So we are playing Farina, but it's...
Near me?
But it's Folklores in the mirror.
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
Okay. I'm gonna revise my statement for like the 30th time. And at this point, if it's wrong, we're just gonna keep going and deal with it, I guess. But I'm thinking that Folklores actually, you know, N obviously knows the truth. And, you know, says that the prophecy has to come true, but maybe there's a way to subvert it. I'm almost thinking Folklores, by having it sped up so Farina, like, essentially is put on trial faster than she should have been, essentially is, you know, washing away the sins of Fontaine. So by her death, all the sins of Fontainians are washed away, and we don't need to worry about everyone being completely submerged. That's why the third picture, it doesn't have to represent that they're all submerged. It just means that they put her on trial. But once again, I'm sure that's going to be incorrect and something else is going to come up. We'll see.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my queen on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
Are you kidding me?
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this.
Man.
So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
This hurts.
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Scene 2. Ascension Speech. Farina. This is really, really tugging on my heartstrings. Because poor Farina, who's just been doing everything for the people, even so going so far as to basically say she's going to suffer for 500 plus years, however long it took, only for her to be able to turn on her is just... It's too awful. I mean, genuinely.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural.
Summon courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Farina de Fontaine, your new Archon.
Appear earnest.
In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice.
And then close politely.
Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Oh, so is the audience.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
Wow, dude.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people from the prophecy.
So her attitude came from the people who are doubting her.
Miri said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be.
And they want someone who's haughty and above them.
Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine a god to speak and act? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play.
Wow, dude.
Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self, here in this opera house.
Poor Farina. Jeez Louise, dude.
Act a door gift of sorts.
People have been doing all sorts of stuff for no reason for her.
Suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest. I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech.
Summon courage or resolutely with conviction.
My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
I will admit, it's cool how they're giving us two options here. The option we had before, but then now a new option. The option to turn into something she's not.
Should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, hoorays and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
End the speech empathetically.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Quests, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Wow. She definitely put on a good performance. I will admit, she did very good at deceiving people. Scene 3, Opera House, Farina. I say this is where we're supposed to be going, right? Yep, okay. I was just like one step behind it.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true.
So,
I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
she's been looking forward to the end.
Right. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now. Do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Yeah, so she's been waiting for the day that this trial came about. So even though she was crying, it's like more relief. Which, I mean, doesn't bring to the fact that she's...
Lady Farina,
it's
I
terrible,
have to say
but...
Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right. Deoteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
You're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
Yep. She... Oh my gosh, if anything else, she's an actor. You can tell. There's no way someone would be able to keep up a lie for 500 plus years. Especially one this deep.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
I mean, gosh, I seriously can't get over it. We just keep going and going and just feel worse and worse for her.
The day's finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time. But it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going, and everyone will be saved. All right, Farina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Scene 4, Opera House, Farina. I don't
Lady
know.
Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
I don't want to see this get worse.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Farina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
I said day after day, day after day, same thing,
We're
same
detecting
thing.
significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about.
The same thing, day after day, day after
I
day.
don't know when these days will end.
Completely stressed out.
Utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Scene 5, the Opera House, Farina. Dude, this is terrible. The same thing, same thing, same thing. Just living out her daily life, being forced to keep up a lie. Scene, oh my gosh. Hold on. Scene 182,371.
It's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this.
Basically over 1,000 days. Which, oh my
The
gosh.
first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria, almost 20 generations ago.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer, a descendant of a line most ardent.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Farina. My lady?
I say, sounds like she's crying.
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. Oh, really now? I didn't even notice. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to
Oh
have
my
witnessed it.
gosh.
Honored indeed.
For this?
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears.
That's why she's looking forward to the trial.
Anyone about this?
Yep.
Would that not destroy all I've done so far?
And there it is. I want to tell someone, anyone. And that's why she's so overjoyed when we were able to convince her that we're technically a spectator and it's not going to count if she tells us.
Investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
Oh no, it gets worse? Oh no, here you go. Day 182,336. Opera House, Farina, and...
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone.
There it is. It's finally when
Oh,
she
I don't know what
realized.
you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
But they can't, unfortunately. That's my voice. Is this scene from when we were within the giant magic box? This is great. I didn't think that this scene would replay in her world. Surely I'll find out what she wanted to tell me this time.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... She's right. I could confide in her, couldn't I?
Yep.
But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish.
But as much as she wanted to.
What if it's really alright? Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it. Long and hard.
And then we opened the box and ruined everything and made her feel that we couldn't even be trusted. Oh my gosh. That's like the worst thing ever. Oh no.
No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Fine.
Man. Dude, I just can't, man.
Doesn't know the truth. You've never once let her in on the full plan?
You just made her
Yes,
assume that,
it
oh my
had to be
gosh.
done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
Yeah, I don't like her.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber.
Do not tell me it's her.
It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
Are you kidding?
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
What?
Beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered?
Wait.
My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice.
Wait a minute.
But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be, accumulated to enact this death sentence.
Wait, is she...
It was all part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Is she trying to, like, break the Gnosis?
This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So wait, she's trying to destroy her own Gnosis? That's like the main law that you can't break.
For neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon.
The literal Hydro Archon
the
itself.
Of the divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
What?
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
I don't think he ever cared about
done
power.
Throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
Are you... I've never even seen Nouvellette like this.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime?
Wait, what?
Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed.
Does that mean the heavenly principles is also not from this world? Because it would seem weird that something above the dragons... Because it just doesn't make sense. I think the heavenly principles is actually one of those... I finally remembered the word, the descenders. I wonder...
I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence. defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position.
He's supposed to judge the
uninterested
Archon
in human
in
existence.
essence.
But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Oh, really? We gotta do the one final dance so that it just makes everyone feel terrible about themselves. You've gotta be kidding me. But of course it gives all of Neuvillette's powers back. Thank you, Farina, for all of you've done. From this moment on, please live happily as a human. Oh my gosh. Just as we wished we could. And go figure, it's raining. It's raining because the Hydro Dragon is sad.
Neuvillette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
That's a lot.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtained power just now.
Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
You mean me?
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring Narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
That was a lot to deal with at once. It's honestly taking everything in me to not want to just start, like, bawling. That was rough. But I mean...
But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have already done my best to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Yes, I shall find a way to attack it from within.
From
I
within?
shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Oh, I hope you're right, because...
Don't get too close!
Absorption test!
Yeah, because I'm doing absolutely nothing right now.
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Oh my gosh, what is that? To effectively attract attention. Oh, come on, there you go.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Yeah, because there's no way we're going to defeat it like this. We're not doing enough damage. Like, we're doing a bit, but it's not enough to defeat it. I think that's kind of the point. Because like he said, we have to defeat it from within. Visit it from the far side of the Sea of Stars. Wait, this is the narwhal? Yeah, it sure doesn't seem like the narwhal.
No, my sword. Let me lead you a verse.
Okay, I will admit this music's pretty impressive.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear.
To interrupt the shadow
Seize
attack.
the moment. Use my power to suppress its root from within.
Yeah, I don't have the, I don't have Numa or Oissa, so that doesn't help me at all. If I had known I was going to need a character like that, I probably would have brought someone in beforehand. Then again, honestly, I didn't even have a chance to change my characters at all. So I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here. I guess it's getting close to being... Its shield's being close to being gone.
Fire it up!
I'm gonna guess it's working? I'm not quite sure what's going on here, honestly. I will say though, its shield is going down. So we don't need to entirely use it, but... Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Check this out!
Animal test 6308. Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power.
Oh, I guess Nublet gives it, when he gave us that power, it counted.
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Is it... Oh, I thought he was gonna finish it off. Oh no, wait, oh no, he healed us. Are we not able to... Are we not able to be, destroyed? 30 days at night in the belly of a great fish. Wait a minute. Wait, we defeated it? That was surprisingly easy. That's what I was expecting. There was no way it was going to be that easy. Oh no. What the heck? Child just got thrown.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. Should have been my job, but oh well.
Who in the
It
world?
was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
I am assuming the disciple is Child. I'm assuming this is his master, so probably your master's pet.
Power. Who are you exactly?
Hyman has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right?
Well,
It's just that he
at least I was
the
right.
impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world. So you may speak to me as equals.
What sort of person would take the all-devouring narwhal as a pet?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks.
Debatable.
All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
Yeah.
The point being?
The fact that you... oh,
Being
whatever.
that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation.
Actually, entire planet, I think.
So what sort of person
Or
is
world.
your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sertologi.
Yeah. Who in the world is that?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Is that something we've heard?
Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir then? Or Gold Rhine-Daughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhine-Daughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Wait, what?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either.
Are you?
But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine-Daughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
So someone like a witch?
Did you also mention a visionary person? Hyman didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos.
What do you mean?
In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What? No, there's little to be surprised about, Paimon. It's natural, after all. The prophecy will surely come true. We knew this and accepted it. What? However... Is it because...
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
What does that mean?
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
What?
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
What? I'm confused then. Okay, so... Okay, well that was very misleading.
Help! Over here!
So they weren't dissolved, even though they were all thrown into the sea. Because right before then, Neuvillette forgave them of their original sin. And look at that. His gigantic boat has finally had some use to it.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue.
Wow.
Hurry!
That is impressive.
Hey, lend a hand.
And then Fremen is going to dive down and save. That is... Wow.
Look, the water's receding.
So Neuvillette was able to actually make it then, huh?
It's a miracle! We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
No, the prophecy was right. Neuvillette just avoided it. And saying poor Farina's just in shock, I'm sure.
Are you alright? We're safe. The prophecy was wrong.
I mean, it also symbolizes our freedom too. It's such an amazing thing to look at and see. This... Is there more? Yep, there's more.
The Solo renewed. The Spirit de Rasula tax post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Spirit de Rasula, and we spoke about Poisson's present and future. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little of it. Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the Fontaine Research Institute.
Ooh.
The various disputes
Yep.
that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team.
So Risley and his two researchers now can't even be called crazy.
People in the report, are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
They might have been real big shots from the start. We just didn't meet them in that capacity.
What do you think?
This is true.
Thrilling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, We would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down.
That was smart. Good job, Charlotte.
These big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw even your well-traveled eye.
The articles do make me curious about how things will play out.
I'm curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
I'm curious how it ends up.
That's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that Duke.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on! Let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the fortress. There are some things you'll only know when you get there.
Well, it looks like we still got more to go. And even, like it says, the finale. Let's see, is it up here? Where's... Okay, there we go. I guess I just didn't see it. See, it looks like things are winding down. Which is amazing. I think it's really cool how they're kind of wrapping everything up. And honestly, it's just it's really good to see Furina getting her freedom that she's deserved after 500 plus years of being all alone. I think it's a really good thing to see. Oh, and Navia's still working with the Fatui, though. Which, I mean, makes sense.
Navia!
They were such a huge help, and it's surprising.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work.
Yay.
Our residents are hard at work as well.
I can say many things
Thanks
about
to
the
everyone,
Knave,
work
but
is progressing nicely.
the Knave is definitely kind.
We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats.
That's
but if
weird.
you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. Keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Wow.
Oh, you're back too.
They're very modest about their role. I'm impressed.
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clorian?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Even though we already proved that Farina wasn't a god.
I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
But that's fine.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Chlorand at any rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Yes, calm down,
Not
Paimon.
bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
She's like, really? Charlotte takes more pictures of Poisson to the clicking of shutters and
All right, that should do it.
a bunch of gibberish I couldn't
I'll be
read.
back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key.
Very true.
Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Clarand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit. I'm impressed.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
You already knew she was going?
Whoa.
This is true.
Informed.
She's pretty impressed.
Too. I asked Sigewinne, who told Monsieur Nervillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media?
Dang.
I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridesley will make a personal appearance.
That's fair.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still very impressed that the Fatui have been helping out as much as they have. Again, I will say, this whole region has not been touched yet. Granted, that's probably like an interlude or something. I don't know exactly, but it's just funny that we haven't gone to that area at all yet. We're about to finish the Archon Quests. At least the ones that are up to this point that I know of. There could be more that maybe I missed.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Dude, did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
Poor Risley.
Finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Yeah, I'm impressed he agreed to that at all, so good on Charlotte. Oh, Jurier. Poor Jurier and Lorraine, that's great.
Don't be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier.
Oh.
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Yeah, okay.
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend.
I love how we're just looking at her like, yep, she's buttering you up.
Where's that flying ship now?
Huh. Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
And she's very good at,
I
like,
have to
squeezing her way
apologize,
in.
But that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
She really does know how to squeeze opportunities for all they're worth.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Emphasis on couple.
Did you really have to use the word couple?
Yes.
Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before.
I'm just glad everything's going well now.
Seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
No, we're good. I'm full.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse?
Have the drink while you're at it.
Sure. Come on, Miss Sigewinne. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
obviously looks fine. Can you skip?
Same old,
Thank
same
you.
old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
Unfortunately
That's why
for
I decided to
Jurier.
let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss Lurvine?
Yep.
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, just pity.
True.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two.
You walked with Risley for a while and shared news from above ground with him.
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
He sure did win them over, huh?
Those
I'll
poor
tell them that
3.
there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Ooh, that stuff.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Fair enough.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
He's like, please no.
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then.
Poor Risley.
Right. Last stop, the docks.
Poor dude does not want to be here, and he's just continually being forced to. I will say, though, do we ever go back to talk to Farina, or, like... I'm confused. I mean, worst comes to worst... Or, hold on, if it's just down here, I'm gonna jump. Yeah, I'll just jump. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's fine. I'd rather not wait for the elevator to go all the way up and all the way down. I'd rather just jump from the edge. I mean, look at this. That took a few solid seconds just straight up falling. I mean, because, like I said, worst comes to worst, if it goes overtime... I don't know. I don't want to go too far over time, but if it's a little bit, we could try to finish.
I didn't see them! They really are here! How did you know?
Just magic, apparently.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together.
Oh, I guess she's just
Apparently, they've been at
well
the docks
informed.
distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
She's just that good, I guess. All
Would
those
you like a magic
connections.
pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
Don't look at me. We literally just heard the plan. Don't look at us.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
And Fremine will do it all for you. Because Fremine's a nice person.
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that
Nah.
sounds pretty sweet.
Lynette's
Can I
so
have your
mean.
contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Remine socialize.
In a really mean way, but
He was the one
it's
who
a way.
proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Aw. Good on him.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said,
Underwater
would
escape
anyone
magic.
want to see a diver escape underwater?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture of us.
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you.
She's just good, apparently.
So, how have things been, Traveler?
I'm doing all
Father
right.
says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Surely not behind us.
I guess you haven't heard. Well, after Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's Gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
Wait, how? I thought the Gnosis was destroyed.
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yo, Paimon, you gotta calm
I
down.
was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
That's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem a bit irresponsible?
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Neuvillette has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only Neuvillette knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the Fortress of Meripede a while back.
Just wait a few seconds. I have something I definitely want to say on the way.
Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about Child?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
I guess I can now call him one of my war buddies.
That's true.
Jeez.
When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
And there she is. I knew she had to be here somewhere.
Father!
I refuse to believe she just disappeared.
Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep to your position?
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Actually, I just remembered something. Please help us deliver this.
A vision? All right. I'll remember to return.
I forgot about that.
Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
I forgot that we had Child's vision this whole time. Whoops.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Oh no.
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
No.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so
Farewell, Father.
Just casually takes a stroll.
She has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This will be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know?
And in the same location
I'm doing
too.
the exact same thing right now.
Look at that.
So many things have happened, but the pockets are still the pockets. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a good day, you two.
Okay.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see what Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
The thing I wanted to bring up is the reason why he was so willing to just hand over the Gnosis. Like I've been saying, the Fatui obviously are working under the flag of Shnezhnaya. Shnezhnaya is working under the goal of the Tsaritsa. And for me, the Tsaritsa has, yes, been someone who's very, how do you describe it? Has been someone who's very strong in her work. And, like, you know, obviously is, like, very strong-handed and is willing to do what needs to be done to get things done. But I don't think she has the worst of Teyvat in her mind. And a matter of fact, I think her goal, and I believe it's been talked about, her goal is to defeat the Heavenly Principles. So I think after Neuvillette realized that that's what Folklores was fighting against, he was so willing to help out the Fatui that he just gave away the Gnosis. Oh, hello. That's what I'm assuming anyways. I'm assuming he realized that they're on the same side and he wants to bring down the Heavenly Principles just as much as they do. Because he wouldn't just given it over the Gnosis if he didn't have to. But until, you know, unless he realized, oh, that was the best for Fontaine and the world. And I will say in advance, I'm fairly confident this is the last part, so we'll finish this up. The stream might go a little bit long, but we'll at least get this done.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Aw, I'm glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
Yeah, because we never saw what happened with Folklores. We just knew what happened with Farina.
It's strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Neuvillette sighed softly before telling you the truth concerning what he saw that day. Folklores received the Heavenly Principles and used Farina's endless performance to save Fontaine.
Whoa. So that's what happened?
I only saw Farina's part myself.
Destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet.
So he made them real humans.
In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans.
I just need to stop talking, is really what needs to happen.
Dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Fossilor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
You could say that it was at that moment that the Fontainians were finally truly born.
Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Fossilor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn
kind of say.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask.
And then obviously there's like...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
As they normally do at the end of all these missions, they tend to give us 4 options to learn about more stuff, so we'll ask all the questions.
I have investigated his case along many avenues.
And the verdict, by the way.
I've learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalors deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off.
Oh, wow.
I cannot say.
Guess Focalors had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question.
Oh, boy.
Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, instead a form of ritual.
Oh, wow.
Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, it seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
That is weird. I don't want to go too far into that whole Oceanid children thing. That's a lot. About Fontaine's future.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focalors' words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest.
I don't blame her.
Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House. Not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel.
Aww.
In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalors the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
Aww.
What about you then?
That's so nice of Nouvellette.
Now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon.
After Focalors passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Good on Nouvellette.
Considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person.
He has such a strong sense of duty.
The Hydro Archon's departure has brought about
He's
another
impressive.
problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
Oh.
That's true.
That's not good.
From the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
Thank you.
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Oh.
This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know.
So he's powering all of Fontaine. That is insane. That is crazy. But alright, we'll continue. Fontaine's Gnosis.
Right. They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function, The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis' power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine.
Oh.
If the Fatui have impure designs, we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
Really?
Complicated considerations. Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth.
I see, I was assuming he wanted to work with them, but I guess not. About the next stop on my journey, which is the Fire Nation. Krishna's Naya should be last.
You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume.
Oh boy.
I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
What'd you say?
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
Or like dragon people?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there.
Wait, what?
Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame.
Oh boy.
There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
Oh no.
Captain. Sounds like a real
Oh boy.
Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui harbinger doing their thing.
This is true.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you.
Oh, thanks, Nuvolette.
Ask away.
Yep, and that's the final
I will tell
thing.
you the truth as I know it.
Alright, and this will be the last thing.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis.
We already asked that question.
To Lenny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards
Oh.
giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed.
Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me I'm right.
Reason for it that only you were aware of.
Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me I'm right. Please tell me I'm right.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
Let's go.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface.
Oh?
It went something like this.
Hold on. Oh, come on, just let me listen. I don't got all night.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
Just shoots us up.
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
The Heavenly Principle?
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Okay, sure. You know what? Whatever. I was not expecting that, but sure. Continue, please.
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
Huh. According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
There's no way I was right that the Heavenly Principles is a descender. Oh my gosh, please do not tell me I'm right.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What?
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know.
Of course.
If you're interested,
Just when I wanted the
feel free to
information.
ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time?
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
Thanks, Nicolette, for asking the
I
question.
do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
I want to know too, by the way. I want to know too. That'd be great. If Nicolette could, like, slide that information onto me, that'd be cool.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
It's so funny that so many people have been speculating the idea and the, like, reason why they look like chess pieces, and Paimon just is like, yeah, they thought they looked like chess pieces to me.
All the same,
Nice
assuming
one,
that there
Paimon.
was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
Oh, wow.
If
That was
she
actually really
speaks the
intelligent,
truth,
honestly.
then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
Smart, Nicolette. It's really smart. A descender. She mentioned one of them. I am the fourth descender. For me, this information means two things. One, that the Gnosis are related to descenders, and two, that the one who came before me has already died.
I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them.
Oops.
That means
My
that the
bad.
Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender.
Yeah, since we are able to do it too.
I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right?
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense now.
No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all.
Don't worry, I won't die so easily. Geesh, Paimon's trying to kill us off before we go anywhere.
That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck.
It's foreshadowing.
Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
It weirds me how.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Because I'm confused as to what her death actually did. But besides the point. Can you understand the will of the
I
gods?
suspect not. But once in a while I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Well, and with that, we are finally caught up to all of the Archon Quests. I must admit, I'm very impressed. Better Tomorrow, people rebuild their home. Masquerade of the Guilty, complete Masquerade of the Guilty. Yeah, I'm honestly... Oh, there's another one. 3 days and nights in the belly of a great fish. Escape the belly of the beast without being hit at all by the phantasms within. I was definitely hit a few times, but that's fine. And, yep. Claim these, get these out of the way. But yeah, we are officially caught up with all the Archon quests. Have everything completed, everything is done, so... Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking I think we're doing really good, honestly. Next week, New adventure chapter, okay. Yeah, now that we're essentially all caught up, we're going to start doing events. And after the events, we're gonna start.
Once there was a chlor.
Sorry, I'm trying to get everything out of the way, but things keep talking. You know what? Here, watch this. Boom, there you go. Now it's muted. Yeah. So from now on, we're gonna start focusing on all the side missions and everything else that we need to get through as well, and kind of, finally start wrapping some things up that needed to be wrapped up a long time ago. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who came out to watch today. I greatly appreciate you watching, and for those watching this back later, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see everyone on Friday for Honkai Star Rail stream. We're trying to finish the events. So once we get finished with the events on the Honkai Star Rail stream, we'll, finally be done with those and everything else. So, yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and hope to see everyone on Friday for our next stream. And yeah, that is all for now. Thank you so much for another wonderful time with Gaming Roundtable, and I hope to see everyone next time. And I'm going to turn on the music for the end, but thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.